Welcome to the 90-Day Lock-In, our main character era. This is where discipline meets destiny. I'm your host, Kayla Vine. I love it here, and so will you. Let's lock it in. I believe that every small habit I build today plants the seeds for the big, lasting changes I want in my life. Every tiny step matters, and it all adds up. Welcome back, friends. Now, how have you all been doing? Can you believe we're already on episode 5 and wrapping up week 4? That means we're almost a month into this challenge together. I want to take a moment to congratulate you. You've been showing up, and that effort is everything. Things should be starting to feel a little lighter, a little more hopeful, and I promise it only gets better from here. So let's take a moment to talk about making habits part of who we are, how habits become our character. There's a quote I love that says, "It takes 21 days to break a habit and 21 days to start a habit." That's powerful because it reminds us that change isn't instant, but it is possible with consistency. So reflect for a minute. Over these last 21 days, what habits have you built? And remember, it doesn't have to be every single day, it just needs to be consistent. What habits have you successfully torn down? And if you feel like you haven't quite built anything new or let go of something old, that's okay. It's time to reflect and upgrade your challenge a bit. Let's adjust, recommit, and keep moving forward. Now, let's dive into the real work, building habits that actually stick. One rule I always remind myself of, and I want you to remind yourself too, is that there is no 2 days. If you fall off for a day, don't let that one day turn into 2 days, because 2 days often becomes a week, then a month, and suddenly it's next year and you're back at square one. Consistency is what counts. Even if it's imperfect, if you keep showing up, you're proving your commitment. That's how 21 days of constant action really starts to build a habit. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. And here's something important: the smaller step is what creates drastic change. When we try to do something too big, too drastic, it often doesn't fit into our lives and it fails. That's not you failing, that's self circumstance at work. Start small, start simple. Those tiny, consistent steps are the ones that stack up into big, lasting transformation. So, how do you actually make those small steps happen without making it too easy? Well, by now, we're past the first few weeks, so it's time to level up just a bit. For example, if your goal is to move more, aim for 30 minutes of walking a day instead of 20. If you're working on eating healthier, maybe it's limiting yourself to one cheat meal a week instead of a few here or there, or instead of an entire cheat day. Limit yourself to just one a week. Or if you're building a reading habit, commit to a chapter a day rather than just 10 minutes. The idea is to challenge yourself just enough so it creates real, lasting change, but not so much that it feels impossible. That's how small, consistent steps start stacking up into major progress. Now, let me be real with you all, because this journey isn't just about theory, it's about practice. Over these last 21 days, I've seen some real progress in myself. I built habits that are actually sticking, like walking 30 minutes a day and really committing to my meal planning. Those habits are becoming part of my routine, and it feels good to see the change. I've also managed to tear down some habits that were holding me back, like mindless snacking late at night or doom scrolling on my phone first thing in the morning. Letting go of those habits has opened up space for those new habits I want to keep. But I'll be honest, there are still habits lingering that I want to get rid of, like procrastinating on certain work tasks or hitting snooze too many times in the morning. And that's okay. This isn't about being perfect, it's about seeing where you are, celebrating your wins, and continuing to level up. If you're feeling stuck on a habit, that's your cue to reflect, adjust, and recommit. That's how progress happens, day by day by day. And here's something many people miss. If a habit you're trying to build is not sticking, if you haven't been able to do it consistently, it's time to teach that habit. Make your habits work for you. Also, we have got to stop approaching our habits with a negative mindset. If it's something you truly don't want to do, you're not going to do it. You have to change your mindset about that habit or adjust so it works for you. Remember, the only person you're letting down is yourself. The only person you're holding back is yourself. And the only person you're elevating with the right habits, guess what? That's you too. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But seriously, how does this sound? Let me go ahead and go to bed at 10 o'clock because I got to get up at 6. And if I don't get up at 6, if I get up at 8 o'clock instead, I'm going to feel like a failure. Versus, I get to go to bed at 10 o'clock. Everything is done. I feel accomplished for the day. I deserve rest and restoration because I get to wake up at 6 a.m. I get to enjoy that hour of peace and solitude before I have to wake up my kids. I love talking to my daughter on the way to school because that's our time to connect every single day. I love waking up at 6 a.m. because 6 a.m. is the moment of freedom. I get to meditate, I get to pray. So I am so glad I accomplished today because I will go to bed at 10 a.m. because I enjoy waking up at 6 a.m. You guys, I do that every morning when I do wake up. And you know what? Which one do you look forward to? The first or the second? Here's something I've been thinking about as we reflect on these last 21 days. I'm an 80s baby, grew up in the 90s, and in our era, everything was about pushing harder, sweating more, and doing whatever it takes to see drastic change. Think about Tybo and Billy Blanks, Jillian Jeans with The Biggest Loser. The harder you work, the more you sweat, the more you lose. Or even shows like The Apprentice or America's Next Top Model. The message was always clear. If you worked harder and kissed enough ass, you'll get ahead.
Kiss enough ass, you'll move up to the next level, which is being the secretary's secretary.
But here's the thing, for us trying to build habits now, it doesn't have to be like that because small steps, small change, and making it fun and enjoyable can create real lasting change. If it's stressful or exhausting every single time you do it, that's not sustainable. Remember that old mouthwash commercial that said, if it's not burning, it's not working? Well, guess what? They make mouthwash now that doesn't burn, but is just as effective as the one that does. That same principle applies to our habits. You don't have to wake up and be Mr. T about your goals. You can enjoy the process and still reach those goals at the same time frame. It's not about suffering. It's about consistency, progress, and actually enjoying the change you're creating. Now, before we wrap up, let's do a quick exercise together. I want you to think about your habits using a simple framework: start, stop, and continue. Pick one habit to begin or start, something you haven't done yet but you are ready to commit to. Pick one habit to stop, something that you know is no longer serving you and you are ready to let go of it. And pick one habit to continue, something you've built over these last 21 days that's working for you and that you want to keep going strong. We're only starting one habit at a time because that's how change sticks. And if you're already committed and consistent, then feel free to continue those habits as well. Now, take a moment to really think about this because the reflection you do here sets you up for success in week 6. All right, friends, that wraps up the episode and the end of week 4. I want to remind you every small habit you build is adding up. Every step you take is progress, and every reflection you do brings you closer to the life you want. Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about showing up, even when it's messy. Use the start, stop, continue exercise to guide your next week. Pick one habit to start, one habit to stop, and one to continue. Keep it realistic, keep it consistent, and continue to be honest with yourself. You've done the work to get this far, so celebrate that. Give yourself some credit, recommit your habits, and step into week 5 with confidence. Your small, consistent steps are what will create lasting change, and I promise it's worth it. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for reflecting, and thank you for choosing progress over perfection. I'll see you next week. And until then, keep building, keep growing, and keep going. You have the vision, you have the mindset, and now you have the map. The time for waiting is over. Let's make this happen. To download the listener guide and get those powerful 8 AI prompts, head over to my website, which is listed in the description. Have you heard? There's a community. If you want to connect with like-minded individuals, please join us on our Instagram at our_main_character_energy, or just take a look at my description to join my Instagram group. And don't forget to subscribe right now so you don't miss out on any future episodes. Let's make the next 90 days the most impactful of your life. Go build your empire. I'll see you at the top.